You're listening to Popcorn in Orbit, a podcast for sci-fi lovers of all galaxies, hosted by filmmakers Jeremy Major and Ian P. Causer.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Got exciting news, on a personal level.
Oh, okay.
So people who won't know, I have an 18-month-old golden retriever called Hondo.
Yes.
Who you have met virtually.
I have.
And what you don't know, because I'm telling you now for the first time, is in 2 weeks' time I'm picking up a second pup.
Oh, boy.
Also a golden retriever. Little girl this time.
Oh, boy.
And I want you to guess her name.
So she's named already, is she?
She's named already. I've got sign-off from the wife and everything.
Oh, wow. Okay, so if it's come from you, this is going to be from the Star Wars universe? Leia?
Yes!
Oh, my God.
You got it 1 in 1. That's impressive.
Good for you.
People aren't going to believe you didn't know that. I swear.
No,
I hadn't
didn't
told
know that.
Jeremy that.
No.
I hadn't told Jeremy any of that. So, yeah.
No.
So,
but I know that you are a big, first of all, a big sci-fi fan, big Star Wars fan, and a big dog person. Like they mean everything to you.
They certainly do. We don't have kids, and the dogs mean everything to us. I think I told you before, and it really surprised you, that if I was to be asked what's the best thing on the planet, what's the best thing in the world, dogs are number one for me.
That's amazing.
Movies and sport and music and all this. I just adore dogs. They're amazing. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so have another one incoming is exciting. It's going to be carnage.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And because we've got Hondo, as Hondo's named after a John Wayne Western, but we've shortened it since he's lived here to Han.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Han and Leia.
Right. Han and Leia. There it is.
How cool is that?
That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I've actually got 1 or 2 sleeping dogs at my feet. They're very tiny, so it's hard to even tell how many are with me here right now. But every now and then you hear the one snore. I can hear it. I don't know if it's picking up on the mic, but
it's the sweetest sound.
I guess so.
Oh, you're not as doggy as me.
I'm not quite the dog person you are, but I have come to enjoy and appreciate them. All right. Well, shall we get down to business? I'm kind of excited about this because I want to. I've got a bit of a challenge for you. Our big topic today is the X-Files.
Yes.
And the reason we're talking about it is because you're a super fan. Yeah. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is accurate.
And it was the first portion of it anyway was filmed in Canada, in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I know that was a big deal for a lot of years here.
So yeah, you have a real keen ownership of the X-Files.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe let's just start at the beginning here. What is it about this show that you love so much? Because I know you talk about it a lot.
I do, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, and it's not a problem.
It was a bomb going off in my life when I first saw this thing. I can remember it. I can remember the first episode I saw. And I checked the air date this morning.
Yeah.
And the air date would have been the 3rd of October, 1994. So that's a couple of days before my 15th birthday.
Wow.
It wasn't the pilot, it was episode 3.
That you started with episode 3?
Yeah. The streaming didn't exist, so it was one episode every Sunday night. On BBC Two.
Gotcha.
And somebody had told me about it. A buddy had told me about this thing they'd seen the previous weekend and just went, this is like nothing I've ever seen. You need to check it out. And it was the X-Files. And I sat down to watch it 9 o'clock on the Sunday night, BBC Two. And the episode was Squeeze, which is the character, the villain of the piece is Eugene Victor Toombs, who can literally squeeze his body through any space to get into these apartments and office buildings to commit pretty heinous murders, because what he's doing is eating the livers of his victims.
Wow.
Before he goes into this sort of hibernation for 50 years and then comes back out again. So he's this,
oh my gosh.
It's like the first Monster of the Week, really, episode they did. And it scared the urine out of me. It scared the urine out, honestly. Literally, it is. I'd never seen anything like that in television.
Yes.
I've seen scary movies, but not in TV.
The quality is incredible of this show. Like the lighting is so dramatic and
yes,
it looks like a movie every episode.
It does. And I was hooked instantly. I thought it was epically cool. And to people who are, again, younger than us, they might not understand or realize the cultural phenomenon that the X-Files became in the 90s.
Yeah, it really did.
Because I don't think it's endured like Friends, the sitcom has, for instance. It's not everywhere still.
Right, yes.
but that's the way I would describe it to anybody who wasn't alive in the 90s, was imagine Friends, but for sci-fi horror as a size of a cultural phenomenon. And that's what the X-Files was.
Yeah.
It even spawned a movie in the middle of its run.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That was in the middle, right? Like did that advance the plot of the series?
It did.
Yeah.
It was a tricky one because I imagine Chris Carter and the makers there, they're trying to let it be a true standalone.
Yes.
So that people who don't follow the show can go and see it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it also advances the plot.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was a particularly bigger scale because, like you said, the episodes felt like movies anyway.
It probably didn't feel any different when they were making it.
No, it probably just felt like they were shooting two back to back.
Yeah.
Like a double episode.
Yeah.
It sent the two stars into the stratosphere, didn't it?
Yeah. So to what degree was the popularity of that show based on those two leads?
I think it's vital.
Mulder and Scully. Vital. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. They had incredible screen chemistry for starters.
They did, yeah.
They
absolutely.
are phenomenal in their two roles. Perfect casting, I think. Gillian as Dana Scully, I think, is like a continuation of Ellen Ripley from Alien and Dame Helen Mirren in Prime Suspect. And what I mean by this is she was a really strong female character.
Very much, yeah.
She isn't she rescues him way more than he rescues her in this entire run of the X-Files. It's her saving his life over and over. She is not the damsel in distress that perhaps female roles have been portrayed to that point. She's a really strong character who's actually has far more thrown at her than Fox Mulder's character has thrown at him.
Yes.
And she's the perfect casting for that role. And then David Duchovny has that. He's got that movie star thing, hasn't he? It's really rare for a TV star to have a movie star kind of charisma, but I always felt that David Duchovny has that movie star charisma. The leads are vital, the writing is vital, the imagination is vital, and the execution is fantastic. It's also, I can't think of another series before, it doesn't mean there wasn't one, where there is a continuing narrative going through.
Yes.
But also these standalone episodes that populate the majority of each season.
Yeah.
So I don't know this, but I'm guessing in an average X-Files season in the 90s, 24 episodes, you probably had 6 episodes that were advancing the plot of where's Mulder's missing sister and the conspiracy theory, and probably 17, 18 sort of monster of the week stories where it's a contained episode in of itself. And if you missed last week's, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter because there's another one coming and not a lot changes. But my favourite part of the X-Files is those monsters of the week, which is really unusual because they use them, I think, to increase the characterization of these roles.
That's really interesting.
You learn more about these guys as they're working together, solving something crazy.
TV at that time is so different from now with these, streaming shows and that, where there were so many episodes of everything. Even Friends, yes, there was a underlying thread, but they each had their own kind of contained storyline, right?
Yeah.
Whereas today, it's a 10-hour story.
Yes.
It's just constant cliffhangers and hooks.
It's the difference between series and serial television.
Yes.
And pre this century, series television was far more common, where you'd have just these formulaic things. And I'd say since the advent of HBO with Sopranos and etc., serial television's kind of taken over. And this was a true hybrid of the two, the X-Files, having the serial and the series part of it. And I just found them to be fuel for my imagination, going, we can make a 8-foot tapeworm cross man thing that lives in a sewer and comes up and eats you out the toilet. That's fine. You're like, oh, really? Okay. Cool.
Like, it was quite grounded, though, like in the sense that you buy into these, the lead characters kind of hold everything together, I suppose, where you have these fantastical things happening. It still feels like the real world.
It does. And I think that's because of Scully.
Yes.
Because the dialogue and the characterization is driven that invariably Mulder kind of guesses at what's actually happening because he's got the imagination.
Right.
And I think Scully is the audience going, get out of here. What? And that she's the voice of reason.
Yeah,
going,
you need that.
It can't possibly be a Mothman.
Yeah.
It's just, she's a scientist. And I think that's what makes it so compelling, because if both agents that worked the X-Files believed in unicorns,
yes,
it's not the same show. It jumps the shark very quickly, doesn't it?
That's right.
Whereas when one of the leads is literally kind of hold the reins in, it makes you realize that he's out there, he's spooky, Mulder's spooky, but the show isn't. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah. Tell me about some of the guest stars that stuck with you.
As it developed, it picked up celebrity fans, but I'm more interested in the fact that Bryan Cranston was a guest star in an episode before he was Walter White, and Jack Black and Giovanni Ribisi were actually in the same episode before either of them were stars. And
no kidding.
Shia LaBeouf was in an episode, and Octavia Spencer and Seth Green and Luke Wilson and Terry O'Quinn, Tony Shalhoub, Richard Belzer, Lucy Lawless, Lily Tomlin, Peter Boyle. They got some brilliant actors in there. Ryan Reynolds was in an episode. So not only did they manage to attract great actors like Peter Boyle and Lily Tomlin, who are already stars, but they also discovered some talent there, like Jack Black and Giovanni Ribisi and Ryan Reynolds. And I just think that stuff it's nerdy, but I think it's cool.
Oh,
you see these young actors in those first roles.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Tombs is, or Squeeze they call it, is probably my favourite because it was the first one I ever saw. No episode after that scared me to the same degree.
Really?
Yeah, because I went in because the pilot had dropped. So I've been told this is a sci-fi conspiracy thing.
Yes.
Squeeze is the first monster of the week. So my buddy didn't tell me about what the X-Files was going to become. It was it was quite talky. Oh, this is the X-Files. They're a department in the FBI Hoover building that look into paranormal. So I come in at episode 3, okay, where's the conspiracy theory? What are they going to be talking about? Roswell. And now we've got this serial killer thing crawling through air vents and ripping people's livers out.
Amazing.
Didn't see that coming. Thus, it scared the urine out of me. So after that, there's now an expectation set. Is this going to be a scary episode or is this going to be a narrative episode? Okay.
Right.
And you can tell straight away because I don't blame him or any of the directors there, but they had this, we're in Vancouver, we're going to go in the woods, we're going to wait for it to be misty and dark, and we're going to open the episode in misty, dark British Columbia woods. And for some reason...
That's just noon. Any day.
That's noon, right? Straight away, the hairs were up on the back of your neck. And you're like, okay, this is a scary episode. This is going to be a scary episode. And for people who weren't alive in the 90s, that Mark Snow, who wrote the X-Files theme, that actually charted in Britain as a single.
Oh my gosh.
That's how big the X-Files was for that period of time.
That's amazing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big a fan would you consider yourself to be?
Ooh. Is 10 needs locking up? Or is 10 just...
10 needs locking up. It's hard for you to get anything else done in your life.
Right, okay, yeah. Gillian Anderson would get out a restraining order. What's the highest number where I'm safe, where I'm not a loony?
An 8.
I'd be an 8 then.
Okay, awesome.
It holds up. It still holds up. If you can get past the hairstyles and some of the fashion of the 90s, which is uniquely 90s. But I feel like 90s is becoming cool now. Like 80s was cool.
Totally,
now 90s. So maybe you won't even notice that if the fashion comes back around.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an expert would you consider yourself to be?
4.
Okay.
If you'd have asked me 15 years ago, it'd have been 8.
All right.
But
so it's
there's only so many times you can... it's
your knowledge has vanished.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what's still in there.
So I dug up some quizzes from some people who would be 10s. They'd be 10s on the...
Okay. Oh, really? Yeah. Right.
They might need locking up. I'm not sure. And so I want you to... you get to choose a category here. So here's some of the categories you can choose from, at least to start with. So one category is called The Truth Was Out There, which is about them traveling. They went to a lot of places. Do you remember where they went? Okay. So around their travels.
Okay.
We could do a quiz just on Scully, just on Mulder, or here's one I really like, is don't go in the bathroom. Because apparently bathroom deaths were a return, like a running gag on the show. Does that feel familiar?
It does, yeah. In fact, I've just flashed to an image of Scully fighting for her life against Dunny Faster.
In a bathroom?
In a bathroom. In her bathroom. She was running a bath, and he gets in.
All right, so where do you want to start?
Oh, I'll let you go for it. You tell me. What do I win, by the way?
You just win admiration.
Okay, yeah. It's one of those. Probably getting fewer right might get me more adulation.
It might. Yeah. Okay, well, let's start with the bathroom then.
Okay. Start in the bathroom.
Start in the bathroom. All right, here we go. I'm going to paint a scenario. And so let's see if you can find the answer here. So a woman working for a small company goes into the bathroom for a cigarette break. She sits down to smoke in one of the stalls and begins to flip through a magazine. Unbeknownst to her, thousands of small insects start to swarm out of the sinks and converge on her. As she finishes a cigarette and prepares to leave, she notices for the first time thousands of insects coming for her. She bats them away, but is no match for them as they've got her severely outnumbered. The last thing the viewers hear are her terrified screams as the insects attack her and leave her for dead. What insect caused the demise of this poor, unsuspecting postal worker? Was it killer cockroaches, killer bees, killer mites, or killer spiders?
It's cockroaches.
That is incorrect.
Really?
Yeah.
They definitely did a cockroach episode.
I have no doubt they did. There's like 200 and some odd episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Killer Bees is the movie.
But that is the correct answer.
Yeah.
At least according to, who is this from? Gemini 19.
Okay.
Super fan Gemini 19.
Yeah, you've got to listen to and respect the opinion of anybody who hides their identity online. No, the Killer Bees, I definitely remember a cockroach one though.
Oh, I have no doubt there's a cockroach one.
Yeah.
Okay.
0 for 1.
Yep. No, that's all right. That's all right. Let's try another one from the bathroom. A young woman named Mona is working late in a museum when she and her dog investigate a loud banging noise coming from the bathroom. Does it sound familiar?
Museum.
Is this one coming back to you? Yeah. Mona and her dog slowly step into the old dark bathroom, and Mona pushes open one of the stalls. She sees that the toilet seat lid is banging up and down. She glances over her shoulder, and she sees the other lids are banging up and down. She carefully reaches out and lifts up the toilet seat lid, only to be met with a horrifying sight that leaves her screaming in disgust. What does she see in the toilet? Is it snakes, rats, maggots, or cockroaches?
They've used all 4. I'm trying to think in toilets.
That makes it even harder, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So the snakes, I remember an episode in the snakes, and they'd sewed them into the chest of cadavers.
Oh, gosh.
And the snakes were coming out through the stitches. That's the snakes one I remember.
Gosh.
I don't think it's maggots.
No, it's not maggots.
Rats is a possible. What was the 4th option?
We had snakes, rats, maggots, and cockroaches. Or it's in here, cockroaches.
Cockroach.
Cockroach.
Yeah, she's from New York. I do remember a cockroach episode, so I'm going to go cockroaches again.
You're going with cockroaches. The answer is rats.
Oh, Christ.
All right, let's get out of the toilet. So let's see. You've talked a lot about Scully here, so let's try your quiz, the Scully quiz here. That comes to us from Skylarb.
Okay.
All right. So what is Scully's middle name?
Catherine.
All right. Correct. Who is Scully's FBI partner in the 8th and 9th seasons of X-Files?
John Doggett.
That is correct. I didn't even give you any choices.
Played by Robert Patrick brilliantly.
When Scully leaves her job as a special agent, she eventually goes to work as a doctor at what hospital?
Oh, it's a children's hospital. Do you need the name of the children's hospital?
I do. I can give you some choices.
Oh, yeah, please.
Is it Mount Sinai? Is it Georgetown University? Is it Our Lady of Sorrows Hospital? Or is it Howard University Hospital?
I think it's Georgetown.
No.
But it's a guess. Mount Sinai?
It's Our Lady of Sorrows.
Of course it is.
That's all right. You're doing well on the Scully questions here. Unlike Fox Mulder, Dana Scully has appeared in every episode of the X-Files television series. Is this true or false?
Now, Gillian was pregnant, I think, at the end of, or as the second season started, and that's why she was abducted. I know that's why they wrote in the abduction.
Okay.
So she, But they could have used the shots of her lying. If you can imagine, she's lying on an alien abducted thing. She's asleep.
Right.
They could have used those shots in multiple episodes.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
What's your gut saying?
So my gut would say it's not true because she missed a couple of episodes due to pregnancy. But if they use those shots and drop them in, that'll be why I'm wrong. So I'm going to go, no, it's not true that she's in every episode.
That's right. She was not in every episode. Which of the following is not the name of one of Dana's siblings? Bill Jr., Monica, Melissa, or Charles?
I know Bill is one and Melissa is one. What were the other two? Monica and Charles?
Yeah.
It's one of those two. I'm going to go, Charles doesn't ring a bell. I think she only had one brother. So I'm going to go Charles.
No, it's Monica, was not one of her siblings. Scully's favorite book as a child was Moby Dick and inspired her to give her father the nickname Ahab. What did he call her in return? Was it Starbuck, Little Whale, Queequeg, or Buttercup?
Her dog was Quickwag.
Oh, okay.
I think he called her Starbuck.
He did. Yeah, this is some of this is like incredible detail. I guess when you're writing 11 seasons of something, you share a lot about a character.
Quickwag was in one episode, but he's part of the plot device because he nearly gets eaten by a kind of Loch Ness monster type thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I remember thinking Quickwag's an unusual name at the time, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a character from Moby Dick.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Okay, what piece of jewelry does Scully frequently wear? A gold cross, an Egyptian brooch, an infinity symbol earring, or 14-karat diamond bracelet?
It's a gold cross.
You're going with gold cross. You are correct. All right, one last question here. What degree did Scully earn from the University of Maryland? A BS in physics, MA in English literature, BA in criminal justice, or PhD in anthropology?
It's not physics. She's not a professor, so it won't be the PhD. What were the other two?
BS in physics, MA in English literature, BA in criminal justice, or PhD in anthropology.
I'm going to go the Masters in English. And that's really stupid because she's a scientist, but...
Physics, BS in physics.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. You did well, though.
I did better.
You did very well. Okay, so let's have a look at Mulder here and see just how much you know about him. This comes to us from Truth Seeker 15. What is Mulder's full name? Is it William Fox Mulder, Fox William Mulder, Fox Walter Mulder, Fox Woodrow Mulder?
Fox William Mulder.
That is correct. What is Fox Mulder's badge number?
Oh, my Lord.
I can't even believe I'm going to read these. JTT04.
Don't, Jay. I won't have a clue. I won't have a clue.
All right. We'll skip that one. That is long.
Yeah.
Okay. When was Mulder born? I'm just going to give you a year. Was it 1964, 61, 63, or 62?
64.
No. 1961. That is getting very obscure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did he celebrate a birthday at some point in the show?
I don't know.
How did they even reveal that information? What is Mulder's nickname?
Spooky.
Yeah. What is Mulder's favorite snack?
Seeds, like bird seeds. He eats sunflower seeds or...
Sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
That is correct. Is it true that Mulder went to Oxford University?
Yes.
Yes, that is true. Is Mulder blind in any way?
Literally or metaphorically?
So the options are, yes, he is red-green colorblind.
Oh, my goodness.
No, he is not blind in any way. Yes, he is totally blind in his right eye. Yes, he is totally blind in his left eye.
I don't remember an episode with color blindness. I'm just going to say no.
He is colorblind.
He is?
Yeah. What kind of pet did Mulder have throughout most of the series? Was it a fish, a cat, a dog, or a lizard?
It's fish.
It is a fish. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, you've done very well. Without counting, I'm going to say you got at least half.
Half, yeah.
Now you ranked yourself as a 4 on the expert scale, and I feel you got about equal to that.
Yes, I think that's probably accurate.
So that's pretty
good. To
good.
be fair, though, if you'd have asked me some of those questions 20 years ago, I don't think I'd have known. Yeah. I don't think I'd have been much better.
I don't think I knew any of them. So
okay. When was Mulder born? I mean,
yeah.
How does that come up?
We must have seen his driver's license at some point. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, possibly.
Who knows?
Possibly.
Final thoughts on the X-Files?
I'd like to know what your thoughts were. Did you watch them when they were released? What was the impact on you?
Periodically. Yeah. It wasn't a show I stuck with. There's very few shows in my life that I've seen everything. Seinfeld would be one. If we did a quiz like this on Seinfeld, I could probably do pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's easy to recognize how important a role it's had, in terms of entertainment culture.
Yes. Yeah, it was a phenomenon.
All right, awesome. Well, it's been delightful.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
You can go join some of these groups online. There seems to be millions of them, communities and groups, and nerd out on some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like to do in my spare time.
The show that I'm heading into unhealthy levels of obsession with is Severance right now. And I think it's partly because, we've got this new season coming out and that, but it's probably the most interested I've been in something.
Ever. Wow.
There's just something about it.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, but I am kind of fascinated with it right now. So I get it to a point.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a big statement to say that you've been more interested in this than anything else in your life. Ever.
Relatively speaking.
Okay.
In terms of content consumption, yeah, TV.
Okay, right, yeah.
Okay, thanks for this.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
50%, that's probably a pass actually now.
Well, I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. And as far as I'm concerned, you're a fan and you deserve the glory.
Thank you, buddy.
Also, congratulations on the new pet.
Yes.
And it'll be exciting to hear about that in the future. Take it easy. We'll talk to you in the next one.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Popcorn in Orbit is produced by the Shooting Eye and Ice River Pictures.